Hello everybody, welcome to YouTube's favorite Korean news show, KPC News, where we cover weekly updates on K-entertainment, culture, and society. I'm your host, David Kim, and today, as usual, we've got a stacked lineup for you guys. To greet some folks in the chat, hello Miso Soup, and hello Michelle, and hello Toyland. We are live, yes we are. And as you might have noticed, we did a little bit of changing in the setting in the background and the format of the live streams. I've put a lot of thought into it, so I hope you enjoy this show. It's going to be more fast-paced, more news, more opinions, more interaction, so don't worry about the old format and the good old community we had. All right, so hello from New Zealand, nice background. Jeanne, hello. Lynn, hello. Gloria, hello. BTS 7 Plus, hello. All right, so without further ado, let's just go straight into today's topics. So what are we going to be talking about today? Well, I have a summary for you guys over here. In today's news, we're going to be talking about, in the K-entertainment sector, NewJeans returning as a 4-member group. Can they reclaim their throne without Minijin and Danielle? And second, BTS headlines first ever World Cup final halftime show. Historic triumph or Super Bowl controversy and critics. Third, we have Gangnam Style hitting 6 billion views. Psy's unstoppable legacy even after 14 years. That is crazy. Fourth, we have director Hong-jin's Hope movie shattering box office records amid fierce audience polarization. I have my own thoughts about it. I don't know if you've seen it yet, but yeah, it's going to be very funny. Next, we have K-culture and society. South Korea becoming the global AI powerhouse at the San Francisco summit. It was truly phenomenal. So many people gathered there, so many influential people, including our president, and a lot of names that I will be dropping. On top of that, someone who actually attended that summit, SK Chairman Choi Tae-won, ordered to pay 944 billion won. Oh my gosh, in landmark divorce ruling. Man, I wish I was his wife. Just kidding. Next, we have the search for Dokdo's new resident, a very important subject. Who will keep Korea's symbolic islands alive? Last but not least, we have Korean YouTuber using Messi's shirt, the god himself, as a doormat after the World Cup races and controversy. She met herself. How ironic. All right. So this is going to be today's news. Nice background. I love the support coming from you. And Rooney, hello. Oh, actually, we're going to mention someone called Rooney today in today's news in regards to the BTS World Cup halftime show. So stick around. Good morning, Jen Wee. All right, so just to remind you guys, right after this stream, we are going to be having the Patreon after show as well too. So we're going to be reacting to all of these over here, all BTS content. You guys know I'm a huge army, so if you want to check it out, please go to Patreon and subscribe to the free membership, and you'll be able to have access to this right after this stream. So if you're watching the replay of this video, be sure to check out the table of contents right now on the screen and in the description box, and click on the chapter, the timestamps, to jump directly to your topic of interest. All right, without further ado, let's go first into our news. Yes, everybody's favorite topic. Everybody has been awaiting this day. They are back. NewJeans is back, and Adore has released a 5-clip video series titled 2026 Summer of NewJeans to mark the group's 4th debut anniversary. What a good timing, right? This marks the first time members Minji, Hani, Haerin, and Hain, someone's missing, Danielle's missing, they have all appeared together on camera since their Japanese single Supernatural dropped in mid-2024. So we're at 2026, July 26 right now. So it's been more than, I think, 2.5 years, right? 2 years. The release signals that Adore is officially laying the groundwork for a 4-member comeback following an intense 2-year court battle. Yes, we've all been following the chord battle. It has been ferocious. It has been draining, right? But the good news is that they are now back. And look at these adorable photos of them. I mean, yeah, it's sad that one person is missing, but still, we got the four members all cuddled together in a group photo with some fresh concepts. These are not AI. These are actually photo shoots. And yeah, we've been getting spoilers and teasers of them doing some activities. And was it Denmark, Copenhagen? I guess they were doing these photo shoots. We don't have any hints about music yet, but well, we have some promising, I guess, activities coming soon because they've been rolling out a lot of pictures. I love these styles too. They look very Scandinavian for some reason. Maybe it's the context we have about them. But yeah, they dropped each and every one of their own members teasers from Minji, Hani, Herin, and Hein. They've grown up so much already. They've become very mature in those 2 years, I think. Yeah, people grow fast. And most importantly, Minji, that we were on the fence of whether she's actually going to join back or not. Like, we knew technically she was on board, but we didn't have any confirmation. People and Adore and the announcements kept on saying that, we are still in negotiations with Minji. But fortunately enough, Minji dropped a teaser and an Instagram post towards her fans, the bunnies, saying in sign language or a secret way, a message with her fingers, I love Bunny so much. Yeah, how sweet. Oh, your song, how sweet, right? And in the meantime, thank you, Ginden, for your 1,000 jewels and your YouTube gift. Thank you so much. And I will be responding to your comments after the news, so please be patient, please stay put. So on to the next segment of this saga. Well, everybody knows that the legal drama began in April 2024 when HYBE outed the founding CEO NewJeans over allegations of an attempted label takeover, and the members attempted to void their contracts in late 2024, but a Seoul court ruled in Adore's favor, forcing their return. And former member Daniel was formally removed from the group in December, with Adore pursuing tens of billions of won in damage against her. So what happens to Danielle? Everybody's question is that right now. Well, actually, she just dropped something for us, maybe in relation to NewJeans' upcoming comeback. While core fans are divided about whether having a new launch with no Daniel or not, there's a slogan going on, a boycott going on. I think it's a minority, no Daniel, no jeans kind of thing in social media flying. And industry analysts emphasize that the broader public ultimately cares most about the music and NewJeans' comeback, ultimately. And this is a post that Daniel actually dropped right on the day when the NewJeans content started to unravel. So, Minijin and her key production partners at Bana are no longer involved, and preserving NewJeans' signature Y2K sound or their bubbly or their bunny-ish concept is a question mark. So that's going to be Adore's biggest hurdle. In fact, actually, there's a lot of buzz in the community already comparing post-Adore, prior Adore, pre-Adore phases and their concept photos, and they're already saying, oh, the aesthetic is already damaged and it's never going to come back, blah, 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 blah. I think we have to wait a little bit. It's too soon to judge at the moment. Well, my opinion about this whole situation, honestly, to be very honest, I'm just very happy. It's genuinely good to see the four members back together. They are still young, and let's be real, everyone makes mistakes. I know they made a huge mistake, but I think these four have definitely learned their lesson the hard way, and throughout this entire ordeal and these courts and legal issues, and they know that the law exists for something, right? They got their lesson, and they experienced their fair share amount of the bitter reality and legal boundaries. That being said, whether they can actually recreate the massive cultural impact they had in the beginning as a complete 5-member group is, again, a big question mark. And I do think honestly, again, their reputation has taken a significant hit. There's no doubt about it. While there are still fans, there are a lot of antis as well too. Everyone's eyes are going to be on them when they come out. So I don't know if that's going to be a good thing. It might act as a double-edged sword. So yeah, that is a given. That is a it's a known fact. When they come back, they're going to break the internet, either in the good way or the bad way. The public interest is definitely going to be there, and the bar is going to be set high, and the pressure on them is going to be very overwhelming. And people, as I said, are already ready to roast them and comparing their current visuals to NewJeans era, claiming it's ruined, it's destroyed, it's not the same, blah, blah, blah. Well, personally, again, I think it's too early to call it a failure. We have to wait. We still haven't gotten any actual concrete music or concept photos, or I don't think these are actual, like, regular photos for the comeback itself, like the musical comeback itself. So Adore seems to be very carefully planning a soft landing right now. That's the feels I'm getting, and they're testing the waters with this anniversary content. I think it's a geniusly timed event, and yeah, apparently a lot of people are applauding them and waiting for them. So yeah, I think the waters are warm enough for them, and the public reaction hasn't been so bad at all. So I don't know. My prediction is that I think even so, this year is a little too early. I think we'll have to give them a little bit more time until maybe 2027. Maybe first half of 2027. That is going to be my bet. What's your bet? Let me know in the comments. Let me go to the comment section and read what you guys have been talking about right now. So, okay, thank you so much for the jewels again. And Michelle says Danielle was the spark. In a good way or a bad way? Amy says, I think they said there's no confirmation that Minji is coming back. This was filmed for the anniversary, but we still don't know. Well, I do think in this situation where we're seeing so many pictures and actually a dedicated teaser or an insa, a greeting from Minji herself on the official account, I think it's 100% locked in that Minji is going to be on the team again. Like, I think that's a no-brainer right now. You might have your own opinion. That's valid enough because we still haven't seen the papers or the actual announcements. But I think these are very solid hints right now. Kim Sunshine says, lesson, careless statements carry consequences. Yes, the real world has a lot of consequences. I know there's going to be a lot of controversy in the chat after the stream. So yeah, I'll leave it there. Let me read the comments after this stream. But yes, Elizabeth, hi, yes, hello. And on to everybody's favorite subject over here. Well, we have to talk about this group. Yes, BTS, my favorite. They made history last Sunday by performing at the first ever FIFA World Cup halftime show during the final between Spain and Argentina's game at MetLife Stadium. I really wanted to go. Who didn't want to, right? They were dressed in red, black, and white attire inspired by the Red Devils of Korea. If you don't know what the Red Devils are, they started in 2002 as the supporter, as the fandom name or the concept of Korean football fans, where we rooted for our team when we made it to the semifinals all back then, right? So BTS showed up in these Red Devil themed outfits, and they performed a football themed rendition of their smash hit Dynamite. I have my opinions about the song choice. Let me leave that a little bit later. Well, they tweaked a little bit of the lyrics, like kick the drum to kick the ball. They adapted it to soccer, football. So yeah, that was sweet. And also, it was a 27-minute spectacle in total, the whole football halftime show. And it was curated by Coldplay's Chris Martin and organized alongside Global Citizen, featuring Madonna, Justin Bieber, Shakira, Burna Boy, and characters from Sesame Street. And while the performance celebrated the FIFA Global Citizen Education Fund and marked a massive moment for K-pop, it ignited a wave of sharp backlash from international sports media and football fans. Well, I don't really want to focus on the negativity over here. I want to spotlight BTS's feat here, which I will, but in the meantime, there have been some opinions about the halftime show itself. Now, let's be clear, it's not about BTS. It's not only about BTS, it's about the show entirely. So, Western outlets, mostly, including The Athletic, branded the extended 27-minute break surreal and entirely unnecessary. What do you think about it? What are your opinions? Leave them in the comments right now. I'll read it. And they criticized FIFA for breaking the standard 15-minute halftime rules to turn football's biggest match into an Americanized, heavily commercialized Super Bowl clone. I get their point. I get where they're leading. And then I guess it wasn't just like, the media upset about it. Well, we had an authoritative figure, former England striker Wayne Rooney, a good friend of Ji-sung Park, bluntly summarized the frustration, calling the show crap, and stating the best part was when it ended. Oh my gosh. Rooney is known to be pretty upfront, but I didn't know he would say that much. Well, okay. My opinion. On one hand, seeing BTS on the absolute biggest sports stage on the planet, fresh off their massive European tour, is an undeniable win for Korean culture, Korean music, K-pop, BTS themselves. They don't need the Grammys. They've already done the biggest stage. Yeah. And they looked very sharp. I think they were the most lively. They performed the best. Their energy was energetic, electric, and like the Dynamite theme was perfect for the show. Actually, I personally wanted them to do like a very hype and energetic song, like a ferocious song, but yeah, it's going to be a global citizen theme and also a FIFA World Cup theme song. So yeah, I was expecting on one hand, it's got to be Dynamite or Permission to Dance or something along those, like Butter. Yeah, but yeah, Dynamite was good. I think it was a good choice. And yeah, everyone seemed to enjoy it. But, okay, going back to the criticism, on the other hand, you have to understand there is certain football culture. Global football fans do not want a 30-minute American Super Bowl spectacle interrupting the flow of a World Cup final. And they're not just like complaining because like, oh, they didn't like the performances or the artists. Well, I have my own opinion about like Justin Bieber over here. But you gotta understand that in the game of football, you had players like, Spain's Lamine Yamal literally stretching on the pitch for 27 minutes, trying to keep their muscles warm while Chris Martin was singing about love and Justin Bieber was singing a ballad. So, yeah, BTS crushed their performance. I really loved it. But FIFA forcing a somewhat commercialized, heavy entertainment-based package onto this traditional sport was going to piss off hardcore fans. It was coming a mile away. We could see it. And yeah, I just want to say don't blame BTS. They did terrific. They didn't even get any fees for it. They literally did it for free, for charity. So FIFA is to blame. Deep down, I thought it was entertaining. I liked the show, but I guess like avid football fans have more to say. I wasn't actually tuning into the show. I actually woke up in the middle of the night just to see BTS. So yeah, I just felt incredibly proud watching the performance and focusing on the positivity again. JK, our man, JK, the Golden Magnet, was absolutely just flawless. He didn't miss a single beat. He hit every high note perfectly, and you could tell this was... He was an experienced guy because this was his second time after, owning that World Cup stage with Dreamers, right? In the Qatar World Cup. So, yeah, and there was actually this behind the scenes, behind the stage footage where the director and crew were like cheering loudly as soon as Jungkook hit his first notes at his vocals because like, he was so on beat and so on tune where the BGM and the background music was so like, inaudible. So yeah, he's very, very talented. And I just think Jungkook slayed. But all in all, I think whereas BTS was the absolute highlight, Shakira was my second favorite. Like, she absolutely proved why she was the undisputed queen of the World Cup. Her song was amazing. The energy was amazing. Justin Bieber, on the other hand, I gotta admit, like, dude was kind of making people sleepy, especially us in Asia. We were watching that game at like 4:30 or something, and bro was like hallelujah-ing me to sleep. So yeah, I get that he was going for something artistic. Like he's been going this path through like Coachella already, like with all the MacBooks and no stages, no props, all that. Like he's living through his artist mode. But like you gotta read the room sometimes. This is a global festival, and Shakira and BTS is hyping up the mood, and everybody's dancing, and bro just appears with the guitar, and he's just like strolling by, and hallelujah, hallelujah. Yeah, so I don't know. That's just my opinion. But one more thing to highlight. Well, the match itself, despite it being the finals, I would say that it was pretty boring. I don't I didn't see much presence from Messi nor Argentina. Spain won. Congratulations. But for me, the most entertaining part was actually seeing BTS meet I Show Speed. So this was the actual highlight of the World Cup, ironically. So, like, without the halftime show, there wouldn't have been much content to actually see for the World Cup final. And also, this behind the scenes footage of I Show Speed and their interaction with BTS was actual gold. Like, I've never seen so much happy vibes over here. They were literally barking back at Speed, and RM even called him by his real, like, government name, Darren Watkins Jr. or something like that. It was so unhinged, hilarious. Speed did a backflip for them, and the members seemed to all love him. They all got hugs. I saw that Jimin got left out. Poor Jimin. But yeah, this was my favorite moment of the World Cup final. So I don't know what FIFA would have done without BTS. This reel got like 30.1 million views in 24 hours or something like that. That's just crazy, right? So yeah, Speed is show all by himself. We are definitely living in the digital era. Let's see. They changed some of the words too. Ping pong to football. Exactly. Yes. Grandma Madonna, why? Oh, don't be too harsh. She's a legend, right? My friends were asking me about BTS after their appearance. I guess it was a good marketing for BTS as a brand. Yeah, a lot of people got to know about BTS more deeply. I guess everybody knows about BTS. They're like, oh, it's this boy band and it's K-pop. But I don't think like the football general audience would know about BTS's music and their performance and talent that much. So I think it was a great stage. And it's more hospitable compared to American football, I would say. That's just my stereotype, but I have a feeling that, global football fans are a little bit more welcoming towards, K-pop or BTS. Yeah. Mm-hmm. They could have resurrected the Beatles and it would have gone and booed. It's nothing to do with BTS. FIFA is to blame. Well said, Rooney87. So I guess you're not Wayne Rooney. So a different Rooney over here disagrees. American capitalism always at the scene of crime, says Amy. Well, yeah. Yeah, it was a very fun moment. And BTS was great. It was very entertaining, so I really enjoyed it. Yeah, again, if it weren't for BTS and the halftime show, honestly, like the finals might have been very dull. All right, on to the next news. We have someone phenomenal because Psy's monumental 2012 global hit Gangnam Style has officially crossed 6 billion views on YouTube. And it was confirmed by his agency P Nation. You can go check on YouTube right now. It becomes the very first K-pop music video in history to achieve this milestone. It already made the history books back then in 2012, but now it's just eating up its own records. So the video added its latest billion views in just 2 years and 7 months after hitting the 5 billion mark in late 2023. So the increase rate has definitely dwindled over time, but still it's remarkable that, it's still going on, right? I actually tuned into it the other day because like I was binge viewing like Psy's summer swag, summer concert videos, and then Gangnam Style got recommended, and then it was like a good workout song. I would not gonna lie, right? So back in December 2012. If you don't remember, Gangnam Style broke the internet by being the first video ever to reach 1 billion views on YouTube. YouTube owes Gangnam Style a lot too. It created a huge milestone, and it also spent 7 consecutive weeks at number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100. As a Korean back then, that was unfathomable. What kind of era are we living in right now? I don't know. P Nation noted that the achievement demonstrates the timeless cross-generational appeal of the track, and today at 48 years old, Psy continues to dominate the Korean live performance scene as the head of P Nation and the ringleader of his massive annual summer concert tour, Summer Swag 2026. I really want to go here to this concert. I'm in Seoul, I'm located, but I don't know why I can't get tickets. Honestly, I could have gotten tickets, but I don't have anybody to go with. I could have gone by myself, but I'm an introvert. I spent a lot of money on BTS, so yeah. But it's really on my bucket list because if you actually look at Summer Swag and his concerts, it is epic. Like, I would definitely recommend if you could choose a couple of concerts to go in your life, especially in the K-pop realm, I would definitely recommend Psy because he's like 48 and still going on. So yeah, we gotta just give him all the respect because 14 years later, from 2012, Gangnam Style is still getting those views. He's still strong on stage. He's still on TikTok and trending. And there's like, I don't know. I think, a lot of people say BTS paved the way. No doubt. Psy opened the gates, I would definitely say. Back then in 2012, nobody knew about K-pop. Only the small amount of K-pop community fans knew about K-pop. But once Gangnam Style just spread, people got to know about Korea's existence. We didn't have to hear about that stupid question anymore. North or South? Oh, nuclear weapons. Kim Jong-un, Kim Jong-il, blah, blah, blah. Well, Psy did have his own, like, stereotypical Asian, character on the late night shows and American TV and kind of reinforced the image. But still, I would say that he did a remarkable job in just, representing Asians and Koreans in general. So thank you to Psy. So yeah, and one thing I really want to emphasize is that a lot of people, especially non-Koreans, international fans, or just people in general, think Psy is a one-hit wonder. That is totally wrong. That is an incorrect perception. He is not a gimmick. He has massive amounts of hit songs in Korea. His discography is crazy good, and they're all bangers. And he's been filling massive stadiums across Korea every single summer with his Summer Swag series. And yeah, I mean, he's the undisputable number one in views already and in energy, I would say. Like there's a comedy there's like this comment that always appears when his Summer Swag concert videos get uploaded. They always say like, wow, Psy really knows how to maintain himself, like manage himself, self-manage. And they're saying that in a comedic way, saying like he always has this beer belly, his pot belly, and they're like, it's so ironic and weird to see him jumping all around, sweating like crazy. You probably have to rehearse like crazy. He's doing this whole tour, and he still maintains that physique. So people are like, at this point, he's intentionally doing that. He's just eating up carbs. He's eating 3 bowls of rice after these shows. And yeah, I kind of believe that at this point. Yeah, let's go read the comments. All right. 21 I Am the Best was popular around that time too. Yes, it was the golden era with second gen K-pop. Lynn says, Psy introduced me to K-pop with Gangnam Style. It's exactly proving my point. Had no idea at the time, says Amy. Yes. SYJ says, nah, K-pop was popular in Asia already before 2012, bro. Exactly, proving my point again. The general public in the West or other regions other than Asia didn't know. And even in Asia, I would argue, like across from Southeast Asia, China, and Japan, and the female audience, I don't think the males were very like, into K-pop or knew about K-pop that much. I like their performance. Elizabeth says they play Gangnam Style in every festival. Yeah, we go to clubs and they still have remixes of Gangnam Style. Yes. Became a K-pop fan around then thanks to Fantastic Baby. Oh, the good old days. Babes. Days. Chamber says Psy is a beast. Best showman out there. Totally. Period. Yes. So respect to Psy. But we gotta go on to the next segment over here. We are busy today because I don't know if you've seen this movie or is it already out in your theaters? I think everybody's seeing Odyssey. Odyssey is still not in the theaters in Korea. I am dying to see it. I've been seeing a lot of good reviews, but on the contrary, I've seen this movie, Hope. Hands up if you've seen Hope in the chat. Type 1 if you've seen the movie, or is it not released at all? So, acclaimed director Hong-jin's new 50 billion won creature film, Hope, has taken the Korean box office by storm, surpassing 2 million admissions in just 5 days of its release. I was one of those 2 millions. That pace beat out earlier blockbusters like The King's Warden, Colony, most recent films that have been very popular in Korea. But despite its staggering commercial success, the movie has ignited an unprecedented split among moviegoers. And on platforms like Naver, we don't have a Rotten Tomato of our own, so we have Naver Movie. Audience ratings are completely polarized, with 53% rating it at a top tier 10 and 23% slapping with a 1-star review. Which side do I side on? Wait for that. Well, the general audiences have criticized the 160-minute film for its total lack of exposition regarding the alien origins. This is not a spoiler, by the way. If you just watch the teaser and the trailers, there are literally aliens. And heavy use of profanity. Now, if you actually get to watch the movie, I don't know if there's going to be a dub version or not. Probably not, but if you get to watch it in the Korean language, you'll hear Shibar about 200 times, and I'm not exaggerating. Well, actually, it says the actual count is 170 times, so I wasn't that far off. But they actually yell Shibal after Shibal during the film. So, yeah, the only thing you can remember after watching is Shibar. But, yeah. And the abrupt ending. I'm not going to go there because it might be a spoiler, but yeah, there is a lot of questions being made, and there's a lot of major plot points to be solved in the future, maybe if there is another version. Well, in stark contrast, the film critics actually and legendary directors like Bong Joon-ho have hailed the movie as brilliant, absurdist, and as a masterpiece. And the divide became so tense that leading film magazine Cine 21 faced severe online backlash after briefly removing its only negative critic review before restoring it a day afterwards. So, yeah, like the public is I think, has mixed reactions right now, including myself. So if you ever get to watch it, please leave a comment on what you thought about it. But my personal opinion, without spoiling anything, I think watching it is like, I got the impression of a mixture between Mad Max and Alien, the Alien series. And you can see that Hong-jin, director, really tried hard to make it feel Americanized. Like, it sets place in a rural country town of Korea called Hopo. It's wordplay with the word hope. But you see the people's outfits, and they literally are dressed like Americans, like Texans. And there's like this, a little bit of awkwardness, mismatch feel over the movie. But I do have to say that the aesthetics are amazing. I think the art direction team genuinely deserves an award for this. So if this were to compete in the Cannes or anywhere else, the Oscars, I think if there is like a award for art direction, then I think Hope would be a strong opponent for that. Well, I think, to go on, my thoughts are, well, I do understand the director's point here. He was like, yeah, we've seen a lot of alien invasion movies, but they all seem to happen weirdly enough in America, in New York, or like in the middle of nowhere in a cornfield, right? So this director thought, like, why can't Asia or why can't Korea, a rural town, a random place in Korea, have an alien invasion? Right? So that makes sense. Like, if an alien were to drop, probability wise, it would just hover above the ocean because the ocean is like, I guess, 70% of the whole, Earth. But yeah, like, I think it makes sense that aliens, it could go drop in China, right? So I think that was the thought process of where the director got his whole concept, and it's valid, and I think it's interesting. And in that sense, I think it was fresh that he chose rural Korea, and that no government, no super military force intervenes. It's just like the countrymen themselves just trying to form a vigilante or soldier service and trying to defeat the aliens, right? So yeah, I think the concept itself is interesting. The first 10 to 15 minutes, I would say, is very, very, I would say very, the suspense is amazing. So recommend, highly recommend. But then later on, when the aliens are revealed and you see the CG, it's a little bit rough around the edges, and yeah, like you know what they say about CGI, like it's because you didn't have enough money. So I'll give it a pass because like Korean cinema, they don't have that much budget as Hollywood. So I think it's a great challenge. It's worth the attempt, and yeah, like other than some little points that I thought was bizarre, like one of the main characters keep on being thrown away by an alien, and that would literally kill a human being, but he keeps on standing up and fighting. So like those kind of scenes, or the monsters chasing them in like super speed but never getting to actually like catch them, stuff like that kind of bother me. But at the end of the day, I just respect the ambition and the attempt itself. So yeah. Messages. Aliens gonna invade everywhere. Yeah, at this point, yeah, I wish they just invaded the world so we could all unite against them. I heard something about poop though. Oh yes, there's a very famous dialogue. Actually, it's like an anecdote from this grandpa, and he talks about his whole story of how he pooped and had diarrhea, and it's part of one of the funniest parts in the film. Yeah, that's definitely a highlight. Independence Day, 30 years ago. Director Na mentioned he intended not to tell the backstory, but more straightforward with actions. That makes sense, but why would the director make it have an American feel? I have no idea. I have no idea. Well, I did see in an interview, in an interview, the director mentioning that he said, "Oh, we might never not know, we never might know that this is in actually Earth, planet Earth." This could be a multiverse or something. Like, yeah, Korean hillbillies, exactly. Choi In-sung looks very good in that American outfit. Yeah, American Eagle outfits, right? The Carhartts. Yeah. All right. Yes, it's a record F-bomb drop. Yes. Is Hope violent? I would say it's pretty violent. You have a lot of guns. Yeah, that's another thing too. In Korea, you have a lot of rifles, guns, so maybe it might not be Korea after all. So guns are a big part why I thought it's very American as well too. Yes. All right. So hopefully you get to see Hope soon if they're in your theaters. I do recommend, even if some people might think it's ass, the attempt itself, I think, is worth some points. Yes. Hope will be released in the US on September 9th. Wow, that's a long time away. Okay, well, you got my review, so yeah, let's follow up on that. Well, okay. So before we go on to the next segment, we've covered the whole K entertainment part of this stream so far. I like to say, if you find our show entertaining and helpful, please drop a like and subscribe. It literally takes 1 second and helps the channel grow. So please don't forget to drop a like and subscribe, and don't forget to turn your notification bells on for push alarms to be enabled on your phone or your PC so you don't get to miss these live streams. They'll be scheduled at this time regularly on the weekends, but still, put your notification bells on, please. And if you haven't noticed, this video of mine, this short essay about why Koreans are marrying foreigners, has already gotten 120K views. It's doing pretty well. I put a lot of work into it, so yeah, go check that one out as well. So on to the next news, on to Korean society. Well, this is the most important thing happening in Korea. Actually, in San Francisco. So President Lee Jae-myung delivered the San Francisco AI Declaration at the AI Summit on July 24th, just yesterday, declaring South Korea's commitment to becoming an indispensable core nation in the global AI supply chain. Leveraging South Korea's world-leading memory semiconductor manufacturing capabilities through giants like Samsung Electronics, SK Hynix, President Lee outlined the government's 4,700 trillion won 3 mega projects designed to prevent global chip shortages and build a resilient tech infrastructure. Now, what was so remarkable about this AI summit is if you've been following the news and the stock market, you will see how much money is gathered in this room over here. It's probably half the money in the stock market. Yeah, more than half, maybe. Yes. Well, moving on, highlighting the concept of an AI basic society, the administration aims to roll out the AI for all project by late 2026, integrating AI across public administration, healthcare, education, and even small businesses. So going back to this picture, the high-profile event was attended by major tech leaders, including NVIDIA's CEO Jensen Huang over here. And then we have OpenAI's Sam Altman, ChatGPT, and we have Anthropic, and we have Broadcom, and we have everyone. Yes. So and of course, we have Samsung, we have SK Hynix, we have Naver, we have Hyundai. So the global AI semiconductor Avengers was all assembled in San Francisco today. Yes. So during the summit, Jensen Huang announced an additional massive $500 billion business partnership with SK Group, along with plans to co-develop autonomous Genesis vehicles with the Hyundai Motor Group. So NVIDIA and Jensen Huang are doing a lot of business with Korea. Obviously, he needs the chips. Sam Altman requested for direct chips. He's short on chips. Anthropic wanted more computing power, so he's requesting chips. He's demanding chips. Everyone wants the chips right now. So SK Hynix and Samsung is on a boom. And afterwards, they also had another beer party too. So yeah, I think personally, the scale itself, the sheer amount of money that was in that room, the influence that was in that place, San Francisco, is just unbelievable itself. And you have, like, again, Jensen Huang, Sam Altman, Anthropic, heads of Samsung, SK, Hyundai, Naver, all in that room with the Korean president. And yeah, you just realize that Korea is at the forefront of the AI revolution, and it's providing the physical hardware that makes it all possible. And in a sense, we've made ourselves indispensable, like irreplaceable. Like, a lot of people were worried nowadays with global turbulence and President Trump's policies that are pretty much hostile towards every ally out there. And the U.S. troops, there were talks about pulling out the troops or not. the U.S. troops are a huge deterrent against China and Russia and communism in North Korea and South Korea, to be frank, right? And, we were kind of questioning our relationship, not because we got cold towards the US, but the US started treating us like, a money printer, or they started like threatening us for more money with tariffs and, like, I don't know, build more ships for us, build more nuclear reactors for us, blah, 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 blah. So, yeah, it was all becoming very uncertain. But then the whole AI boom occurred, and South Korea, luckily enough, because of the visionaries of our past in Samsung, yeah, we are leading in the semiconductor industry, and without us, the US cannot participate in this global race of the next superpower, for the next superpower in AI, because China is self-developing its own semiconductors and its own hardware, but the US is highly reliant on South Korea. They have their own micro chip company called Micron, but like they're third, and the technology is way far behind Samsung and SK Hynix. So yeah, fortunately, this AI boom has just produced a new shield for us, for I guess the next decade, maybe. So yeah, we're on Team USA. Don't get us wrong, right? Like, we want USA to be the superpower. But yeah, nowadays, I don't know where to bet my money on, to be honest. Yes, but anyways, the HBMs that SK Hynix is making right now is saving our asses. And again, about AI in general, I know a lot of people are skeptical about AI and they don't like this topic. But again, I've been saying this over and over again from day one. Like, AI is something we can't avoid. If we can't avoid it, we got to get like skillful at it, and we have to treat it like the steam engine or electricity, or like the guns or the PCs or smartphones that came out. Like, technology always goes faster than human beings and society, the development of like societal speed. So I think we have to adapt to it. We have to be good at it. If China gets a hold of the actual AGI era, where AI can think for itself and recreate itself and like have mass productivity, blah blah blah, then the hegemony and the superpower is all going to flow in a wrong direction. Yes. So South Korea is staking its absolute future on this transition within the US-China tech rivalry, and hopefully we're on the right team. So I guess we shouldn't view it as a dystopian lens too much, because it's already here. People are using it. It's a real use case, and governments like South Korea are planning to make AI agents possible and accessible to every single citizen and Korean person. So I think in the end, in terms of welfare or like healthcare and anything, like, I think AI and physical AI robots are going to be beneficial, because the elderly have a poverty problem, loneliness problem, caretaker problem. So yeah, I think a big chunk of that could be solved with AI, with the help of AI and mass production. And yeah, it's a hyper competitive society over here. And I think the reason Korea is doubling down on AI is because we're hyper competitive. That's one thing, and we always want to be number one, and we want to be ahead of everybody. But also, we have historical trauma where Japan colonized us, and despite our triumphs in the old days, where Lee Sun-shin could protect our country with his navy fleet in the traditional manner of warfare. Once Japan got modernized and they adopted Western technology with electricity and guns mostly, we didn't stand a chance. And that's why Korea was just done for. So we have historical trauma over here. And when we spot a certain, revolution happening in the tech sector, Koreans are like, oh yeah, we got to be a part of this, or else we're going to be doomed again. That cannot happen again. So yeah, I think this technological shift is definitely affecting our country's policies and the people's mindsets over here. Yes, okay, let me go to the comment section. And Lynn, thank you so much for the $10 on the super chat. And yes, I will have a good lunch. It's 8 a.m. in the morning, but yeah, afterwards. We are already used to AI in daily lives. Exactly. Quite honestly, my dependence on AI has gone so much up that I can't live without AI nowadays. If you look at my phone over here, like in the old days, my phone, I used to have different apps on the bottom, but like Gemini is in the middle part right now. So I can access it 24/7. Like for stupid stuff, like I'm in the kitchen cooking, I don't know, ramen, and then I suddenly want to eat it differently. I just turn on Gemini and ask her, is there a different way to eat ramen with maybe like mixing eggs or like steaming it or something like that? And it gives me proposals and I just follow it. And it's very fun. I use it as a consultant as well too. So yeah, it has a lot of usages. Yeah. How does this affect the Samsung internal dispute? Well, yeah, that's a more complicated issue. I can't cover all on this news segment, but yes, they have their own internal, what do you call it, labor laws. They had mediation, they had a deal. We are yet to know about whether it's going to stick until forever. I don't think so because like a lot of people say semiconductor industries work in cycles. So whether this is going to be a cyclical term or not, we yet to have to see. Yes. So yeah. Oh no, David, you're becoming part of the Matrix. I think that's yeah, destiny for all human beings in the end of the day. Actually, you know what? I don't think it's too dystopian at all. If I actually grow old and my limbs hurt, my back hurts, I have no teeth, and every day, like, I can't get up and I can't eat pizza and, like, eat good stuff and, you know, have the mundane joys of life, I would voluntarily go into the Matrix. I would get a 20-year-old body, jump around, meet girls, eat pizza, have fun. You know, it could seem sad in a human-based mindset, but like if that becomes normalized with the metaverse and everything, yeah. But then whether you get the red pill or the blue pill, it's your own choice, right? Are you going to be the Neo? Yeah. All right. MG and Loverface is loving this talk. The issue is loss of jobs. Exactly. I know, because I am a direct victim of AI as well too, because I had a job that was related to localization, subtitling, and language, but those areas are already taken by AI. A lot of my friends who are accountants have lost their jobs because of AI. I actually, I'm not going to renew my contract with my accountant because of AI. There are programs, you just click on it and they do all your taxes for you. So yeah, that's happening. Language, taxes, numbers, just administrative, redundant work. Those are all being replaced. My doctor friend says that AI actually already has a more accurate rate of diagnosing diseases. But because of the medical laws, that's the only barrier stopping it from entering the medical field. But already in remote medical diagnostic areas, it's being used for developing countries or third world countries, yeah, that don't have access to medical service. Yeah, so yeah, I don't know how it's going to be, but again, going back to the news, like Korea is going to be at the forefront of it. Like as I said, might as well, right? Ride the wave. Yes. Okay, on to the next one. Well, speaking of SK Hynix, uh-oh. Well, this dude over here, he is the chairman of SK Hynix, and we are going to be talking about the most high-profile legal battle in Korean corporate history. The Seoul High Court has ordered SK Group chairman Chae Tae-won to pay 944 billion won, roughly $644 million in cash to his former wife, No So-young as part of their asset division ruling. They're getting divorced. While the sum reduces the previous appeal award of 1.38 trillion won, it's kind of decreased a little bit. This court reaffirmed that Che's shares in SK Inc. belong with the divisible marital estate. The court set the division ratio at 2/3 for Che and 1/3 for Roe, and acknowledging Roe's decades of domestic labor, child rearing, and public representation as direct contributions to building the value of Che's holdings. Yes. So we've seen some of these cases in the West as well too. I guess on the top of my head, I can think of Jeff Bezos, right? And also to protect the corporate control and stability of the SK Group, especially as the semiconductor affiliate SK Hynix is surging on the back of Nvidia and its partnerships with everyone out there, and its recent Nasdaq ADR listing, the court ordered Choi Tae-won to pay the settlement entirely in cash, rather than transferring company shares. I think that's fair. Yeah. And yeah, the 9-year saga has been an absolute roller coaster, and the Supreme Court's plot twist regarding No So-young's contribution made it even wilder, because initially in 2024, appeals court awarded her 1.38 trillion won, partly because of her father. So there's context here, historical context. Her father is a former president of Korea. Now, his name is No Tae-woo, and he allegedly funneled 30 billion won in slush funds into the SK Group back in the 90s. So you gotta know, the word chaebol only exists because it's a family-owned business, and they, like, you know, they just inherited to their heirs and stuff. That's one characteristic of it. But the reason it became chaebols in the first place is because there was political and financial backing in a governmental and national level. So when we were dirt poor in the 80s and the 90s and the 70s, all back then, certain presidents wanted a drive for Korea to just survive and grow rapidly. And the only way to do that was to give all the resources to certain companies. So, like, get rid of all the regulations and, you know, give them free rights to export and import whatever they want and blah, 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 blah. So they gave them a lot of, like, loans. And that's how these chaebols like Samsung, SK, LG, Hyundai all occurred. Yeah, so SK is a direct beneficiary of the late former president Roh Tae-woo, and No So-young is his daughter, and they got married, and that itself is another form of collaboration between government and chaebol companies. They actually had a marital pact, I guess, right? So yeah, the main logic of their divorce was initially because of the funding her father, the then president, provided to SK, but then that got ruled out, and fortunately enough, as I said before, the rule stood in favor towards her, respecting her role in protecting the family, domestic labor, raising their children, and performing high-profile public and philanthropic duties on behalf of SK Group as well. While Choi Tae-won was comfortably and conveniently able to manage his wealth during the marriage. Now, there might be a lot of gender wars and dialogues, like discourse about these kind of divorces, whether like that much labor, household labor and raising children is worth, how much was it again? $644 million in cash? Blah, 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 blah. There's a lot of buzz amongst the public. While there are a lot of people saying, like, oh, that's even a smaller fee than expected, because, like, he got a lot of preferential treatment for them from the government. So definitely she took a role in it. So yeah, there's a lot of ping pong between the both sides. I don't want to be the judge. I don't want to get into lawsuits. I don't want to be sued by defamation from a chaebol company. So I'll just leave it there. Share me your opinions in the comments. Let's read some chats before we go on. Okay. Yes, I'm going to be talking about Dokdo right after right after this. And Tanisha says, cash, money, great for her. Yes. So yeah, I think it's a great outcome. I guess, right? You know, she deserves it. I can say that much. She definitely deserves. Yeah, she definitely contributed, right? So, but isn't she also a chaebol in the first place? I wouldn't say she is a chaebol. A chaebol is a family that owns a massive conglomerate that has subsidiaries, that has its tentacles all over the place, and that just inherits and passes down their company to their own family. So she's from a political family. She's from a presidential family. So I think those are different. Yeah, maybe the lines are blurring with America right now with the Trump administration, but yeah, anyways. Okay, so on to the next one. We are talking about Dokdo over here. So Ulung County in North Gyeongsang Province has officially initiated the process to recruit a new permanent resident for Dokdo following the death of its last registered inhabitant, Kim Shin-yeol. Mr. Kim passed away in March at age 88, and Kim and her late husband, Kim Song-do, had lived on the disputed islets since the late 1960s. Wow. Earning their living through fishing and serving as the physical face of Korean presence on the islands. With Kim's passing, leaving the official population at zero now, local authorities are preparing to renovate the residential quarters on Seodo Island before consulting with the Ministry of Oceans and Fisheries to select a new resident. Under local regulations, candidates must prove that they can maintain an actual livelihood on the islets, typically through fishing due to the complete lack of basic infrastructure like shops or hospitals, and the selection process currently faces minor delays as authorities work with the late Kim's family to clear her personal belongings from the living quarters. And for international viewers, you might be wondering, why does someone have to live on this tiny rocky island in the middle of nowhere in the EC? And why does it matter so much? Well, if you're new to Korean history, you might not know about this, but in international law and territorial diplomacy, effective control isn't just about military patrols, it's about civilian habitation. So the late Mr. Kim and his wife were living symbols of Korean sovereignty for over half a century. And we still have disputes between Japan. They still claim that these islands are theirs. While we have the official documents verified by the US and historical documents, even before Joseon and before the Japanese occupation, it all states that Dokdo is our territory and our island. But Japan, using their own flawed documents during the Japanese colonial era and such, they claim that it's still theirs. They don't have any inhabitants there. They claim that we are illegally on the islands, protecting the islands with military force. So, yeah, that's why it's important towards us. There are a lot of natural minerals around those areas, and whether we have these islands or not, make a very big dent and difference in the map of the territorial space we have in the East Sea, and they call the Sea of Japan. Please call it the EC. So, yeah, it's a very big conflict that has been going on for decades now. I don't think they'll ever acknowledge that it's not their territory. So, yeah, this is a very pressing and important issue. Quite honestly, if there aren't any, I guess, perks of living on the islands, who would want to go there, right? There's nothing there. There's literally no infrastructure. So finding someone to fill in isn't just like, that simple. And it takes incredible resilience, a genuine commitment. And yeah, I don't know who would be willing to go there. So we'll have to see. But I think there might be some applicants, there might be some perks the government might be preparing. I would never be able to go there unless it was like life changing money. But I doubt that the government would do that. Yes. Show us a map. I would like to show you a map. Let me try to get it over here. So, Dokdo map. I'm searching it over here. And yes, if you see, I don't know if you can see the map. Yes, this is the map of Dokdo, and there you go. You see the islands over here. I can't show you it directly because the ratio is kind of skewed, but yeah, you can see the map. I'm sorry. Yeah, you can't see it, but I'll work on the visual aids next time. All right. I want to visit Dokdo one day. How far is it from Seoul? I am I'm not a patriot enough to know that, but I think it would take quite a while because you would probably have to go all the way to the East Coast. That already takes 4 hours by car, and then you would have to take a ship, and that would take like quite a while. So give or take probably 6 to 10 hours. Yeah, it might not be accurate, but yes. I have the Dokdo Soju glass from Naked Soul. Yes, we used to sell those, and it was a very meaningful project, a very great design too. Protecting the minerals on the island should be very important to Korea. Exactly, and some say around those places, around those areas, there might be even natural gas or even oil. So, yeah. Um, how interesting. I'm not familiar with this. Yes, it's a very global dispute. We really have been trying our best to promote that Dokdo is our territory, but uh, despite these diplomatic pursuits, I don't think they have been very successful. But yeah, uh, I guess our I guess our military power has increased over time. I think it's on par or at least better than even Japan's capability at the moment. So we do have the military power to protect it. It depends on where the U.S. Decides to side on, and it's a diplomatic problem because we're both very big allies to the U.S. And yeah, I don't know why we always need the verification from the U.S., but that's how it is. Yep. Yes, I hope Korea can get their island back. Hopefully, fingers crossed. All right, moving on. We don't have too many news left. Only just one remaining. But before we finish, I just want to advertise this. If you like more news and content during the week, please sign up as a free Patreon member to get access to these great free newsletters and podcast. For the podcast, they have a little charge, but you literally just have to click sign up with Google or Meta or WhatsApp or whatever, and you're all set. So don't be lazy fingers. Come on over to Patreon. It's in the description box or the pinned comment. And yeah, become a free member and get all that free content just shoved to your face via newsletters and emails, all that. So yeah, becoming a member of Patreon really helps the channel keep going, and it's really is big support. So please consider. And any direct donations via Buy Me a Coffee or PayPal are always appreciated. Buy Me a Coffee is a better option because it has lower fees. So if you enjoy these kind of live streams, please consider supporting on this QR code over here. You can just scan it with your smartphone. Yep, PayPal as well too. Anyways, okay, let's move to our last segment of the day. So, who remembers this girl over here? I know that World Cup season has uh, passed, but this prominent Korean YouTuber who's part of the Kim Pro gang, he's the biggest YouTuber in Korea. She initially gained widespread global sympathy after being targeted with a racist slant eye gesture at the 2026 FIFA World Cup by this Mexican guy. And he apologized, by the way, and he lost his job, I think. Yeah, there were consequences. But ironically, this girl herself is now facing severe international backlash. So there was a reverse card. This influencer previously made headlines when this footage of the spectator making this racist gesture behind her during the Korea's match against the Czech Republic in Mexico. And yeah, this led to FIFA personally inviting her to the headquarters to promote anti-discrimination messages. So she got some perks afterwards as well. So I think she should have been grateful, and I think she should have used this opportunity to maybe spread good messages. But let's see how the tables have turned. Unfortunately, she recently sparked outrage after posting an Instagram reel titled "How to Make the Most of a Messi Jersey." Lionel Messi, the legend and the god. And in this video, while wearing a Brazil jersey, she used Lionel Messi's Argentina national team jersey shirt as a front doormat and used it to wipe her floor and windows. Critics online slammed the stunt, pointing out the hypocrisy of fighting against racial discrimination only to disrespect another nation's cultural and sporting icon. Now, this isn't racism, but it's just purely dumb and disrespectful. Like, I know where she was trying to go with, like she was trying to like root for Brazil, and like I guess they were against Argentina or something. I don't know. I almost forgot the World Cup, but yeah, she was trying to like be all witty and fun about like, oh, I don't support Argentina, let's go Brazil. But yeah, she did it in a very tone deaf and wrong way, very stupid way. I don't know how someone could think of that, especially with Messi's jersey. It's rage bait. It's definitely rage bait, but it has crossed the line, and you do not mess with Messi. Messi is a legend and a god, although his performance wasn't that good in the finals. Too bad for him. But yeah, this 30-second clip just went viral all over the internet, and she got so much backlash from the international football community. And yeah, she got all those perks from FIFA, all those like anti-Asian hate, voices, and she had that real platform to educate people and push for positivity. But instead, now she's wiping the floor with Messi's jersey to get cheap clout and Instagram views. So I would just call this cringy, disrespectful, childish, stupid. And yeah, content creators need to really realize that cloud chasing can really destroy everything you built and stood for. So yeah, I never do that stuff, right? Actions have consequences. But why? For money? For clout. Is rage bait her content? No, like she does like viral content. She does, these language-less content. But I just see it as so stupid. How old is she? I don't think she would be that old. If she was uh mature enough, I don't think she would have posted something like that. Dumb, 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 says Joe. Uh, she kind of looks like Jenny. I don't think so. Nope. Yeah, very immature girl. Did she lose her channel? No, it's still there. It's still there. She's at that point where it's too big to fail. Yeah. Okay, all right, that's it for today's live news. I hope you enjoyed the KPC News new format. Let me know your feedback in the comments. But if you want to continue the fun, I'm just letting you guys know that this is not over. Come on over to the KPC After Show on Patreon, where we'll be checking out all these great content. As BTS Army, there's been content just flooding away and in my way, so I need to all check them out. Might as well check it out with you guys, right? So we're going to be watching the BTS FIFA World Cup final halftime show in one sitting and full performance, and the normal Korean version stage cam and the Arirang World Tour in Busan is out, and Busan running vlog with JK from Suga is out as well too. I think I saw the San Francisco one. BTS reacts to a British afternoon tea and spills on comeback album Arirang. Very British day out. So we'll be reacting and watching all of these together on Patreon. You can just come on over and sign up as a free member, and there you go. You have access to it. So yeah, it's all prepared for you guys all over here. So see you in the after show. Hope you enjoyed this one, and I will see you at the same time next week on KPC News. All right. Adios. Bye-bye. 안녕. Glad you could catch a live too, Elizabeth.